Welcome. This is an off-the-cuff 90% NMG, no major glitches, beginner route tutorial. I am Adruk. I am of few accolades, if any. The list is so long that it's over. Alright, that was great. So, I am going to be using KZ for the majority of this, KZE, the English version. KZ is our practice ROM. Feel free to ask about that in the server for speedrunning. Majora's Mask speedrunning. I'll have a link to that in the description of this video. To start out, what is NMG? NMG is no major glitches, like I said earlier, so the main caveats of that are you are not allowed to use two tricks, or essentially I think one of those is SRM, and the other trick is basically anything that lets you, it's TO, text overflow, and then that usually leads to accessing the debug menu, but that's game-wide banned anyways, except for one category on the extension token. So SRM is still reference manipulation. You can follow a different tutorial if you want to learn about that. So, basics. To watch this video, I will have hoped that you have watched at least one, if not two, basic route trick tutorials. I will probably link two I would recommend. They are one is by Epraz, one he's been in the community for a while now, longer than I have. The other also has been in the community longer than I have, Pope Squidward. Both are great runners, Squid is like, he just got second place on the Hondo board for NPM, I think, or NMG. It was probably NMG if I had to guess. So anyways, that aside, watch those first if you haven't, or at least one of them, before you watch this video, because I'm going to be going really quick through this. It is an off-the-cuff route tutorial just to get something out there. Hopefully I will do something else later, but this will have to do for now. Time is short for me. So, actually, where's this file? Okay. So, when you start out the game, you're not going to be here. You're going to get some text, and you're going to start here. This is where gameplay will begin for you, essentially. I'll be skipping a lot of the cutscenes. I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I'm just going to go through the very basics. And then very basic trick tutorials. And I might link to more detailed tutorials or setups later on, after I doctor up the description. Hopefully add chapters, etc. A quick note about text mashing. There are two types of text in this game, fast text and slow text. For slow text, mash A, B, and C up. For fast text, mash B until you start skipping through the text, and then mash A. If you want an explanation for that, ask in the server, or watch a video by somebody. There are two regarding that. But anyways, you're just going to backwalk when you gain control. Gain control, not regain, necessarily. Turn around after you get to the log. If you turn around too early, there's a bit of an extra transition. Sometimes that's throws people off when they do the turnaround. Right there. Just going to the log. So just be aware of that. Backwalk at least a little extra. Don't roll jump the first through, and then roll jump for all the rest of the logs. Don't fall off. Kappa. So this route, like I said, is NMG, 90%. Beginner, and whatever I recommend, essentially. And a lot of it is going to be influenced by me. That's just how bias works. Now, I will say, on top of this, that I have to go over the audio. Forgot to mention that earlier. The audio is going to be crackly. I'm sorry, not much I can do about that. My capture card is not great. And that's all there is to that. My last bit of coaching that I want to do is stay hydrated and enjoy the game. Oh, there is one other thing. One other bit of coaching I want to get through before I really start the route. You want to, when learning this game, if you're learning the tricks, etc., be very intentional about how you learn them. Don't just try to throw whatever sticks. throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. Try to be a little more intentional on that. Some tricks it's okay to just keep trying it over and over again to learn it. Other tricks that will not work, and you will really need to analyze the trick, think about it, and try to apply some changes to what you're doing in order to get successes at whatever trick. Certain ones come to mind. Recently we have one like that's not in this route, but something with Hookshot Room. But always I will recommend to be patient with this game, and temper that patience with intention when it comes to learning. And that will get you very far in this game. Anyways, my rant is over. Let's get on with this. We have a little more dialogue to get through here. Then I'm going to speed through per cycle. No puns were intended. I'm going to remove those watches too. They're not going to help us very much here. Some of them I kind of already forgot what they are. As far as what I do in the game, in the community generally, is I will try to make some smaller setups. And I love trying to make very stupid, difficult things RTA viable. Granted, I don't have much time to do it anymore, but that is what I like to do. Backwalk immediately if you want, quick turn if you can, and generally what I do is when I start to see the grass on the right side, I will release target to turn around and then get to the door, or say immediately after. It's going to look a lot faster if you do it without messing up. More text over here. After this text, you're going to hold upright. You're not going to spin immediately. Generally, you want to spin frame perfectly, but a lot of people will just mash the A button when spinning. In this case, it's a little bit of a setup to get to the flower quickly, so just wait, hold upright, go about here, and if you do it a little earlier than what I did, I think you'll make it in. Basically, it's to go right there. Next up, we have Tatl Tech Skip. Generally, what you're going to try to do is side hop into the flower. I'm going to make a save state about here. What I'll do is normally come up here, do a quick side hop into the flower. You just want to hold A throughout the side hop to get into the flower without much effort. This is the Tatl text we're trying to skip. Very minimal, don't put that much time into it, and just practice it during rounds if you really want. I would not spend much time on that at all. Alright, this is going to be a very scuffed explanation for HMS skip. By this point, I hope that you can pause buffer. If not reliably, then just practice this in runs. I would not recommend trying to practice HMS skip for the intention of doing it in runs. Like, don't practice it in KZ or anything. A lot of people also say that KZ will alter the pause timing just enough to notice it after a while. I don't know if that's necessarily true for the newer versions of KZ, but keep that in mind. I would not put much time into this trick. It does save about 40 seconds, but when you're starting this game, 40 seconds is not a lot of time. It is for high level. You are not high level. That's not to put you down. That's just, there is so much time and effort that goes into high level, and if you do it, that is great and awesome. I would love to see you on the leaderboard, but don't put yourself down because you can. That's not that important. People try to fuss about trying to do bufferless scanners. We'll get to that eventually, but that is another one that it's kind of a time waster to try to get good at, so to speak, unless you absolutely, definitely, really want to get good at the game. There are very hardcore few that do. Maybe you're one of them. Anyways, this thing is a wall. You can target it, much like any other wall. So do that. What you're going to do is just backwalk till about here, and you're just going to start buffering. The goal is to get to a certain part of the step, pause, then try to maximize or minimize your pauses, so to speak. Minimize when you start pausing, essentially. Do 10 pause buffers back. Then, I think it's 10 total. Just get to the top of the stairs, release target to turn around. Link's gonna snap around. then you're going to just keep pause buffering until you get into the load zone. Sometimes you get door trolled, sometimes you won't. There's a way to line it up so that you don't. I don't have time to go into that. You can ask the community for more details. I will probably fail this because I haven't practiced pause buffering in ages, let alone doing this trick. So far not too bad. And there we go. That's a fail. Shocking, I know. If you do it right, it looks like this. Kappa. Then you get text over here. I did not get text because I was already here at some point. Once you finish out that text, you're going to be on a timer. But that timer really doesn't matter. We're trying to get through this as quickly as possible. The goal is to get to night 3 on the clock tower. You get Ocarina ASAP. Now, the problem with that is that you can't clip in, so we have to make use of this time that we're forced to wait around for. Go ahead and get into this flower, do a little side hop. If you find a little bit of movement that's consistent, you make that work for you. Generally, you're just going to do hold down left, spin twice, and then side hop into the flower after a certain position. And generally what I see people do, I've seen people do, or I do generally, is kind of aim towards the treasure chest shop, treasure chest game, minigame, target to hold that angle, fly down left, get around the wall, then fly down, and just back walk towards the door. Just make sure you actually enter the door. If you're just comfortable with spinning, so be it. Just spin. Nobody cares. Not until you want to get good. My focus for you would be to just do runs. To get to the point where you can do runs. Then practice from there. Thanks, bud. The fancy movement to do here, very simple. Hold down left going in. Side hop. You don't really get a walk there, but whatever. Side hop, holding up left on the control stick twice, going down the stairs. And then you're just going to spin over to your right now. My grandma, I'm sure if you've seen a speedrun of this game, you know the reason. She bores us to death. And by death, I mean the next morning. Don't just listen to one though, gotta listen to 2. There I am trying to mash B until it starts scrolling, and then I press A. TLDR, B button slows down the text. The button does not. Do a little movement over here, just jump over this desk, backflip. Just make sure you don't talk to the lady, so you want to backflip kind of early-ish. Talk to the lady, you'll be mad. Oh, she's really lenient actually. Anju is, I think, a little less lenient. But whatever. Go out the door, going to go this way, make sure you spin rather well. Mash spin, whatever. Be careful of Franker Z. Franker Z will chase you and try to knock you down. Well, I don't think I've ever seen him not jump first. Maybe I missed him. Anyways, just avoid him and avoid this Deku flower over here. If you go into the Deku flower, go near it, you get this little cutscene that nobody wants to see. Alright, fancy. Pay note of that bomber kid. But, seriously. This one here. Depending on which way he walks... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Depending on which way he walks, you can either spin, get an extra spin, or not. He is walking towards me, so I will not be able to spin immediately. If he's walking towards you, just hold up for a little bit, up, left, whatever, until you get out of his talk range, until the A button says just spin instead of talk or speak, and spin towards the door. 2 spins. If you can get the 3rd spin, do a 3rd spin. Alright, we're here for the Scarecrow. You want to dance with the Scarecrow? Again, if you see any speedrun of this game, you've seen this cutscene a million times, I'm sure. Okay. He's gonna go away, but he's gonna try to teach us a song. Just say no. We don't need those songs in this run. Just kidding, we do. Alright, you're gonna spin this way. Just follow me. spin upright, spin the wind. We'll get to those songs later. You should know them. There's song of double time and inverted song of time. Again, just like before, hold down left into transition, and then just side hop up to get a flower. Spin down left twice. We're going to grab this fairy right here. Now, I do want to mention before I go on, you are on a timer now. It's not a strict timer by any means, but you do want to rush. Our goal is to get so many rupees. I will check the route real quick. I'm just a little later than usual, but I should make it. How many rupees do we want? Is it 90? I think 70 works. I'll put on my abbreviations. Great. There we go. We want between 60 and 90 rupees. The ticker only really matters there. It's just when you deposit rupees. I'll show you later. It's just less ticks and you have 90. It's really all there is to it, if I recall. Spin this way, then you're going to backwalk, and you're going to spin some more. Now, this is Termina Field rupees. Don't do what I just did and go towards green rupees that take a while to get. They're just a waste of time. Your goal is to get to the clock tower on time. If you don't get 90 rupees, it does not matter for this route. I already forgot to mention something. So, when you're going that away, from here, just make sure to aim for... Hi Tatl, how you doing? About that pillar, a little left of it if you want. And you're just gonna backwalk like I just did. Alright. This is a sloppy tutorial, I know, and I'm sorry. From here, you're gonna go left and cut down this grass over here. Try to take as few spins as possible to break as many grasses as you want. If you miss a grass or two, don't worry too much about it, especially if you miss one, just ignore them entirely. Your goal here is to collect all the blues that you see. If you see a blue, it is definitely worth going back to pick it up. Blues are 5, of course, greens are 1, greens are not as valuable to you. It's a numbers game. Just remember, it's spin to win, and your main goal is to get to the clock tower on time. And generally just follow what I'm doing here, backwalking here and there, especially this really long stretch to this grass over here. And then if you don't have enough rupees, there's another spot over this way. And if for whatever reason you still don't have 60 rupees and you're desperate to get that extra chunk of change, okay, side hops. You can side up and save a couple frames. Go over here to the King Kong grass. It is consistent. You get 1 green from every grass, and for a total of 9 if I recall. Generally speaking, you will never have to reset for RNG rupees in this route because you only need 60. Generally, you'll only have reset possibility when having to go for 90. Anyways, we're up here at the Great Fairy. Generally, you will not get this cutscene until we're at the clock tower. And I spent my good old time explaining things, all that fun stuff. Wasting time, frankly. If you don't make it to the clock tower in time, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up over it. You have plenty of other chances and other runs to make that. Frankly, when you're starting out, it's going to be amazing if you make it the first time through the clock tower on time. You could definitely brag about that in Personal Best channel in Discord. You have my permission. If you make it to the clock tower on the first time, you're your first speedrun ever. I'm sure others will oblige to that response, just to that question. I did the wrong one. Mash B for a little bit, and then mash A after you start this text scrolling. But whatever. That Stray Fairy we got earlier is Town Stray Fairy, of course, and if you've played the game before, you know that we just got magic. If not, welcome to Majora's Mask. We just got magic. We have been snotified. Now that we have been snotified, we can snotify the Skull Kid. Please excuse my dry humor. Alright, go ahead and backwalk out. And then we're spin to win more this away. Some opportunities for fancy movement here. Hold up to back walk, and if you really want to get fancy, you can hold left while you're midair, and then hold down to back walk again. And I generally spin here, but a lot of other people will just back walk into the load zone. Here is another good spot to save some frames. Actually, this is a good one. Hold up right, then you're gonna back walk, and then when you get about here, maybe a little further, you're gonna start side hopping to the right. It's gonna land you right in front of the banker. Very lenient. You're gonna deposit as many rupees as you have in multiples of 10. Don't worry about the single unit. I have 99. I wonder how that happened. And as you saw, it was 2 ticks, one to go left, one to go down, versus if you have 60, you have to go down a little further. That's all there is to the rupees. A little excess for the routing itself, but we don't care about that much detail. Spin to win, just don't read the sign next to the banker. I generally walk a little bit. Spin to win again, no dog on night 3 if I recall. We're going to do what we call a gainer. If you get into the corner, you get 2 frames for this trick. If you get out of the corner, you only have 1 frame. Okay, good, scrap. Just kidding. If you gotta buffer this, don't worry about it. You can also do a backflip setup. If I recall, something like this. How does this work? There we go. So, face this direction a little bit, hold down left. That's all you gotta do. Now, if you're up here, or if you just get up here, you had this Tatl ticks that you want to skip. If you're late to the clock tower, what you can do is just spin before you actually walk into the dialogue and just get into the load zone before the spin ends. Now, if you're here on time, you're here before the clock tower opens, hold up while facing the door and mash A, and you're going to spin into the load zone. You won't have to get this little title text. It's another minor cutscene, text skip. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. It is not a big deal. You have plenty more to look forward to in this run. This whole thing is standard, but I'll go over it just in case. After we get through the cutscenes, what we're going to do, after the text, we're going to hold up left, and then we're going to target immediately, followed by B to start getting a magic bubble going. After some time has passed, when the bubble is big enough, you're going to release said bubble, you're going to spin after releasing the bubble, and there's going to be a little cutscene when you snotify the Skull Kid, and that bubble actually hits, then you're going to walk into the Ocarina. Very simple, right? Looks like this. Target B, spin after releasing. It was a little sloppy, but it'll do. Collect the Ocarina, profit, split, whatever you want to do. I tend to split at HMS 50 and then Ocarina. But you do you, don't matter to me. We might try to implement some kind of community leaderboard for splits. Try to get community best splits up and running. That depends on how we're all feeling about it as mods, I guess. How much effort goes into it. I will say that the Wildebeest, another mod in the server, the Discord server, has got a working version of that spreadsheet up and running in Twilight Princess, Twilight Princess? One of the categories, I imagine 80%. And it looks sweet. So maybe we'll get that on soon. We'll see. You gonna play this song? I am certain you can see how to play it. I generally do. So, when playing Ocarina, when you're on a game controller on the Wii VC, as I would recommend, you have the option to use buttons or the C-stick for C down, C right, and C left. For A Song of Time, I generally just stick with X, A, and Z, the button format. X is C right, Z is C down, and then Y is C left. Basics. Alright. After this, I think you can imagine what we're going to do. We're going to play the song we just learned. Very fancy stuff. Pause, equip Ocarina, left, and then I generally put it on Z, it doesn't matter. Unpause, press Ocarina. Small note, Japanese difference. you have to actually press the button again. But on English, they fixed that. You only have to press the Ocarina once, and you can start playing the Song of Time immediately. It's amazing. It's great. I know. I love it. Alright. Now, once this text comes up, you're going to hit A to save on Y, on the S immediately, followed by a reset right after. Looks like that. If you're afraid of resetting too early and not saving, that's fine. Don't worry about it. If you're afraid of it, just give a couple seconds or 1 second between hitting A on yes and resetting the console. Generally, you're going to be on file 1. I'm on file 2. If you're on file 1, you can mash A to get to file 1. That's the only reason we ever actually care about file 1. No special reason other than that, generally speaking. And with that, we have Ocarina and we're saved. Go right back where you came from, into the clock tower. Do a little spin, target, mask salesman, and talk to him. Very fancy stuff. Almost through first cycle. Don't mind me, just skipping some things. Wow, I'm so fast. I am awesome. Dang, look at him go. Speedman is speedy. What will he do next? After Song of Time? Is that the one? Oh, that's exterior. I went interior. That's what. Is this the one? No. Oh, I had to take that mask off. Don't mind that. Took me off guard, it'll do. Alright, come on, ahead. Oh man, I'm human. That's not the one I wanted. There we go. This is what I want. So just want to quickly show you something real quick. Generally what I do. Is hold up. No, I don't. I just target immediately. Then what I'll do is hold down right after targeting. Try to quick start a little back walk. You can just back walk out if you really want to. It's just really finicky with the frames, all it is. And then you can't just back walk out, so you have to push the door open by walking towards it. So don't just try to back walk into the door and expect it to work. You have to walk forward into the door. Alright, you're gonna get that little text that I got from Tatl earlier. Fantastic. You clear the text out. You're gonna have time going. You're gonna go this way. Roll to win. Quick note about rolls. Space your rolls out. Do not roll like this. People will make fun of you. No, just kidding. But they will tell you that you want to space your rolls out a little bit. Just enough. You're gonna go up this way, or we're gonna get rupees over here. And have fun doing this. A little higher here. Very simple. Just spin across, and when you get nearly over, you want to jump slash, then it skips a little ledge climb that you would otherwise have to do. Now, another quick note. Jump slashes. We have a fancy thing called jump slash cancels in Majora's Mask. If you spin the control stick in a circle, much like doing a spin attack, you will skip this little animation here. This one. If you target, you can even skip that. But just do that, and that'll skip that. Sometimes you want to hold shield, like in certain spots. I don't know if they ever come up in this route. And holding shield will prevent you from walking off ledges, etc. Roll down to this guy here. Roll over to this guy here. If you happen to ledge climb, don't worry about it. And that generally stems from just how you roll and how you get into the targets and stuff. And by ledge climb, I mean this ledge. Don't worry about it. If you do it, you do it. Over this way, if you want to get fancy, what you can do is side hop up. Just do it with a bit of an angle. And hold up, of course. And you can side hop up. Saves a couple frames versus just climbing up. Very minor points. Thank you, Perez, for pointing that out to me so long ago. I watched this tutorial. Go over this way. Try to aim a little better towards the chest when you jump, etc. And profit. Go over this way. And head to South Lockdown. Generally what I do here is hold right. Is it right or upright? It's right. And then when I see the box to the left, a little bit much there, I will start rolling this away. I guess it was more upright. Doesn't matter. I'm getting optimal at that point. What I'll do here is backwalk. Do you ever get anything verti cam? Don't worry about it. Just roll with it. Sometimes the camera will snap back. That's just because of how the camera works and how certain areas do that. Don't worry about it. Just roll with it. I'm going to talk to this guy. Just try to stay near the door when possible. You're going to use some money we just got to buy a palm bag and shoes. Okay, I have enough shoes. That'll bring you down to 0 rupees generally. Jump down this away. Oh, you don't have to slash for an English version. There is no PCS. Crouch damage is set. If that doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. Just if you run on JP at some point, you'll find out about it. Talk to the banker. In doing so, get ISG. I'm going to withdraw rupees because we're taking money from the bank. If you want to think about it. You don't have to think about it. I'm going to withdraw 90 rupees. I can't because I have rupees. Well, I'm just going to match through this. Roll up this away. Do not cancel your ISG in any way, shape, or form. Do another roll there. Apparently I did not get shoes. That was weird. Anyways, it has something to do with the counter and the infinite cheat. Don't worry about it. What I will do generally is pull a bomb here, walk up here, target the wall, not do whatever that was, and start backflip and hovering. The goal right now is to hit the hidden owl. And if you don't know what the hidden owl is, I hope your tutorials went over it. But if they didn't, hidden owl will basically allow us to song of soaring to any owl statue that we haven't been to yet, so long as we have been to specific areas that correlate with whatever spots they go to. If that was gibberish and it sounded like it, that's fine. We'll get more into it later. Right now we just want to hit that statue. If you want to follow the bomb route, you want to do nice. 1 bomb and then 10 shoes. 9 shoes? 9 shoes. I don't remember. Generally, whenever you see Link actually snap up. Never mind. Sometimes it doesn't work. I have to do the math. I don't remember how many it is. A lot of this will be muscle memory to me by this point. Also, if you're not familiar and what my problem is, you have to get the A button just right. If you're too close to the ground, you'll snap back. But you don't want that. So you want to make sure that you do this right. Just make sure to backflip as soon as possible, and make sure you don't backflip too early, otherwise you won't backflip. By backflip, I meant press A. Don't press A too early, or else you won't backflip. Don't press A backflip too late, or else you'll snap to the ground, and then you have to do another hover upward. Then you waste explosives. But anyways, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I'm gonna side hop. And then, generally what you can do is after you pass the stairs, or that line there, that seam, whatever you want to call that border, you can jump slash, because then you pass the low zone, and just side hop to the right, the owl, and then I don't get too fancy, I'll usually just side hop, or jump, whatever off. Generally, you just want to make sure that you keep the owl on screen and the green light on screen. Because if you don't and you're not careful, then you actually won't have, the game won't consider the owl to have been hit. It won't save it, and when you try to play a song that's related to soar, you're going to be sad because you can't soar, because you don't have any owls hit. After you void, you're going to start over here, just go back into the map shop. Unless you did what I did and went to South Park now. 2 sets of shoes. We can talk about speedrunner's discount real quick. So speedrunner's discount, or 2 for 1, is a very fun trick. So normally shoes, as you can see, will cost 40 rupees in packs of 10. If you buy 2 packs, that's going to be 80 rupees. But what if you only have 69 rupees, or 67 even? What can you do? You need to set that to... Can you still do this? Yes, yes you can. And the way you do that, very simple. Mash the A button like a crazy guy. But unfortunately, if you don't have good timing, you won't get the second one. So what a lot of people recommend, like THP, Thomas, the Human Protector, and others, is that you can time this instead. So basically what you're doing is you're triggering the text prompts as soon as possible with the A button, and in a rhythm. Looks like that. And it's exactly as you saw with the A inputs for the text boxes, just close them out as soon as possible. You want to practice that, get into a rhythm of that. That will help you greatly, especially when you are low on rupees. You don't get a lot of rupees in first cycle, or any other number of scenarios that you find yourself in. Anyways, get out of here. If you want to get fancy, you can do something like this. Wait till you get into the step, pull a palm. Wow, how did that not work? I'm trying to do a recoil flip because that's not obvious, and then bypass the guard. There we go. That was harder than expected. If you don't want to do that, just go towards the guard and then talk to him, and then make him happy. Fast text, so press B, then A, mash A, press B, then mash A. Alright, that brings us to Termina field. You had a couple of options here, but generally we're going to be going to Pat the Swamp. Problem with going to Pat the Swamp is there is an extremely long cutscene that you may be familiar with, especially if you watch Glitchless. And that is the Swamp Kid cutscene. Or Swamp Skull Kid cutscene. Don't mind Link. This takes like, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go through this cutscene. We don't want to watch this. So instead we have 2 options. The first option is to Hess this away. Do a little angle change when necessary. Oh, I went too far. And I went too far again. Basically, you just want to get to this gossip zone. If you just want to take it safe and go around the building and then do a super slide after aiming, that's your decision. Feel free to do that if you want, if you're comfortable with super slides. Once you get to the gossip zone, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is to press Ocarina, then mash the B button, and then that will give you time stop. And you can backflip. If you want to get real fancy, you can get a recoil flip off the Deku Baba, and then roll or try to do a back walk to the low side. Whatever you want to do. There you go. Then you skip the cutscene. Hooray! Second option with this here is to place a bomb. Do the setup here. And then do a Hess. It's a little funny, but if you really want to do it, you can do it if your heart so desires. Why am I having difficulty Hessing? Alright, well, slow Hess, I think, but whatever. Oh, I went the wrong way. This angle change the other way, and you can angle change into the load zone. So I'm holding right. And it's a little awkward at first, but if you really wanted to get good at the game, you really wanted to do that, you could. The other option, as Turk has mentioned, is the mod, big and SRM. You can Hess this away, get close to the load zone, but maybe not quite. Well, let's say about here into the log. Back block this away. And then we're going to do bomb Ocarina items. Wait until all your flashes go away, just buffer until that frame. I believe it's this frame. Keep holding down, back walking. You specifically want to be targeted while walking. And then you're going to hold Ocarina or some cutscene button and shield. Just do that during the unpause lag. There you go. And you can back walk in if you want to. Just make sure you're wary of the camera. Either option will do just fine. It's up to you. Once you're here, what I'll do is take a couple steps this way. Then let the camera do its thing. Then hold up to lock the camera in. And then back walk the rest of the bomb timer. And then get a super slide. Just try not to fail like I did the first time. And during this super slide, what you can do is equip Deku over choose. We will not be using choose for a while, and since you're already super sliding, you're not really going to be interrupting any movement that you otherwise have. Okay, so hold shield till you get into the load zone, and good job. You're going to be putting Deku mask on immediately. After this area introduction part cutscene. Can't skip that first transition, but oh well. Talk more about that later. Spin the wind. We're going to be going to these on these lily pads to the left here. Just be wary when you're on these lily pads. They can be very tricky at first. Just make sure that you try to spin before going to the ledge. And just make sure you're going to make it to the next lily pad. If you find yourself with a slow spin for whatever reason, and you don't think you're going to make it to the lily pad, that's fine. Just turn around, go back to the lily pad, and retry your spin hops, whatever you call them. Just be wary that if you happen to void, it will take you back to the last collision that is not an actor that you were standing on. Generally, it's going to be land. Spin the wind. It helps to land on the middle of the lily pads when starting out. So if you see that Link is going to go to the far end, what you can do is just hold back on the control stick. That'll get close to the middle, and then that'll give you enough distance to get a spin going. Very important note. A lot of routes will have you spin. Actually, it looks like this. And collect this Deku stick. Then collect this Deku nut over here. And do a super slide like so. The problem with that is if you do these things, collecting these items will screw you over later on in the run. Our goal is to equip swap over bow at some point. And if we have Deku sticks and Deku nuts, we will not be able to equip swap. If you don't know what equip swapping is or its caveats, feel free to ask the server or watch a video. Hopefully you're going to have time at some point to link a lot of these videos. All that's to say is do not collect these items. And if you really want to do a super slide here, you can, or just backwalk as Deku. It does not matter. I can't super slide very well, so I'm just going to keep walking. I'm also going to pause the timer real quick. Alright. So, now that we're at Woods of Mystery, we have a couple of options. If you opted to back walk, you can spin the wind, just follow the pattern here, You just want to go into the left cell, then to the right, then to the right, then forward, then to the left, and to the left again, and you're at Kume. When you reach Kume, take your Deku mask out. Well, tell you what, you can walk up to Kume, get that text out of the way, then take your Deku mask off. That text auto advances. Talk to Kume, speed through her text. Just say nothing to her, don't give her any items, and we're gonna go on our merry way. Before we do that, going over other options. If you really want to get fancy, if your Deku spinning, you can do what we call a snapper side. I don't really have a good setup for this, but take Deku mask off, and what you're going to do is a super side off of this grass. And you can do it what we would call first cycle. And then it just looks like this. Getting even fancier, you can do an ESS all the way to the witch. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Your other option is to do a Hess. A lot of people will Hess to about here, and they will either drop the Hess. Some people might actually try to continue the Hess. Sometimes I get stuck here for whatever reason. And if you want to absolutely be a mad gamer, a mad lad, you can try to do an angle change with holding down right, but then that requires a lot of practice. It's dumb, and there are plenty of other things that you could be worrying about. Just be careful about where you target, and try not to target any enemies, because that will ruin your day. Don't target the monkey either. Alright, I'm gonna give up on this because I will try to go on that forever until I get it. If my previous attempts at this practice are any indication. Nice to talk to the witch again because I didn't make a save state. And talked. Okay, so we just talked to Kume. We have to talk to Kuroke now that we know her story, Kume's story. Go ahead and back walk in this direction. Just aim for that part of the roof. You can walk on that. Backflip up. Going up, going down. Release the back walk. A lot of people will do that. They say it's faster. Sample name specifically does, if I recall. Other people imagine like side hop it. Just do whatever is comfortable to you. If you want to go with what's fastest, I would recommend dropping the targets. Alright. Let's reload this area. Small trick you can do here. If you were to hold just a little down left, you can actually roll into the top radius of Kume. Very fancy, I know. Otherwise, just be careful you don't do something fancy and then do something like this where you bonk it because you're not actually talking to it. It can be pretty finicky. You actually aim for it, but don't worry about it too much. Talk to Kume, master her text. She's going to give you red potion, and then I would split because that's where I have my splits. Yay, red potion. Alright, now that we have red potion, we're going to make our way to Deku Palace. I like the side hop down, really not required. Put Deku mask on ASAP, spin the win. And we're going to go to the left. Be aware of your lily pads. We will be making a quick pit stop here. Get bubble on this lily pad, break that beehive, and if you notice the beehive get shot and the bubble didn't miss because it's RNG, go ahead and get to the beehive, stand underneath it while it drops, and hopefully you will collect the rupee as it falls. Otherwise you'll have to go get the rupee. After that, go ahead and get your blue rupees over here. Now, if you had a lot of rupees, you got 90 rupees, we would have left the shop with how many rupees? That would have been 19 rupees. So we only need 50 rupees, that's to buy milk later. And so if you already had a rupee from grass earlier and then you just collected 30 rupees there, at that point you would have enough rupees. You don't have to worry about any rupees for the rest of the run. But you're still going to get a red rupee chest anyway, so you don't have to, I guess. if you wanted to, what I'm saying is that you can route your rupees a little better if you get good RNG. And that entails skipping the beehive and getting the red chest later on in the routes that we will see. So, anyways, we're about to do the long jump skip for Big Octo. Long jump setup for Big Octo skip. Very, very simple setup. You just want to be aware, get it fast, get it the first time if you can, because you got to worry about this guy throwing his rocks at you behind me. I will kill him while I explain the route real quick. Ah, man. Are you kidding me? Absolute good gamer here. This is the mark of a good gamer. Totally. Alright, so we're going to be pulling a bomb for a classic long jump, of course, and to do that you need to be human. So, go ahead and turn human. You're going to face this. If you want to do it fast, you just want to get close to the ledge. About right there will work. Put a bomb behind you, target. Then you're going to mash Deku mask while you're up there. Okay. After you turn Deku, after mashing Deku mask, you really want to mash it. You want to try to target Big Octo if you can. If you can't target Big Octo, don't worry about it. The only reason we target Big Octo is because Link's hops get shorter while he's targeting something for whatever dumb reason. You're going to get Deku iframes. You're going to spin over this way. Generally, you'll be able to make it in a single set of iframes, so to speak. And I just waited forever in place. That's why I had to do it a second time. You're gonna get spat up by this Big Octo, land on this lily pad here. Now, if you were to slash the sword and go up here after placing a bomb, I will make a note of this. This is bad, because you will not have enough frames to actually put the Deku mask on usually. And that just goes into having to put the sword away, basically. Even when KZ frame buffering. Okay, I guess there's maybe a frame or two, but it is generally recommended to just walk right up to the ledge. This will be a little awkward. And just, you'll be able to gauge pretty well how close you have to be, typically speaking. Go over this way, get spat out. Get onto the lily pad. From here, we're going to go to the right on the lily pads. And we're going to do what we call... I don't remember what this is called. I think this has a name. But basically we're going to be turning human and jumping up there. Grab the ledge, pop up, ledge climb. It's very simple to do, but very easy to get caught up in the details. Generally, just make sure you're about here, somewhere like between the middle of the lily pad and the far side of it. That's so you can get enough speed, but you don't want to be so far back, because the more time you spend on this lily pad and the more frames, the further you are, the more you're going to be on the lily pad, the further down it's going to sink. And eventually you're just not going to be able to grab the ledge. If I recall, that's just me theorizing. I'm not really sure. I didn't science it out too much. But just make sure you're about this position. Aim for like that black dot there if you want a marker. Take the Deku mask off, hold up, roll, and then just hold up, and you're generally going to make it. It's spend enough time on that trick to get used to it so that you don't fail it over and over again. You get it the first try, get comfortable with it. Even if you have to line, you just take your time to line it up, space yourself out, etc., etc. You don't want to start back any other route. Okay, because again, you're not going to spawn back on a lily pad, you're going to spawn back on collision. Alright, rant aside, you're going to put Deku mask on. You probably saw I was mashing Deku mask to put it on ASAP. Do a couple of spins this way. I haven't mastered this, but a lot of times what people will do after 2 spins is side hop into the flower. Just get into the flower, really doesn't matter. If you're facing this way, then what you're going to want to do is release target and let Link just fly backwards. It's very easy to get used to, you just gotta not think about it too much and just do it, frankly. If you're facing the owl, then okay, face the owl, doesn't matter. Get through his text. He has a lot to say. Hold up, you want to walk towards the stone, then you want to read the stone, because we're going to learn Song of Soaring from it. Very, very exciting right now. Alright. Cool. Alright, what I would do, if you want, you can just tap down, target, and then spin down with some momentum. That way you can see where you're going, land on the little pad. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. Just get down here. Sometimes I'll try to YOLO it and not even target. Spin the wind, just don't read the sign. You can't talk to the monkey, so just spin towards the monkey. That brings us to Deku Palace. And now that we're here, we're going to we're gonna have some fun. Alright, so we're gonna spin up here, spin across. You have a couple of options to get past these guards. Your first and easiest option is to talk to them. That little chat is Deku, and you can go by. Your second option is a little something I doctored up. Spin, go this away. Oops. What you want to do is get a good momentum, spin off of that log. That looks sloppy as heck. Go this away, and then just grab the side of this thing. And if you want to be safe about it, see up to snap the camera this direction, turn down, target, and then backflip over the guards. Even if you don't make it, generally you're going to get the guards down. That's all you need to do. That'll skip a little text, be a little faster. There are some other options, but they're generally harder. We're not going to go over them for the beginner rounds. Okay, now that we're here, we're going to get ISG off of this sign. Nice second try. We're going to equip Choose real quick, because they make this trick a lot easier in my opinion. Otherwise you have to time the bomb, you have to pull the bomb here about, and you have to worry about being on a bomb timer. If you do it with this little hover with Choose that we're about to do, it's just a lot smoother, in my opinion. And you can roll. You want to get to about this spot here, the corner of this garden patch. Alright, you want to be a little on the patch if I recall. So over here is a little too far, you want to be about right here. And you're going to do a hover back, and you're just going to press A and mash A and up. That's going to have you backflip back and target as well, obviously. A couple of other setups, you're going to have to, if you're not careful, you're going to have to actually curve your backflips a little bit, or stop the momentum from them while you're backflipping, and it's just a little excess to do. You don't have to do this very much at all with the Chew setup. Just get into position, and then just mash A and backflip. Backflip up. It's very easy, very not difficult in any way, shape, or form. And it is important to go fast, and the reason for that is because we're on a cycle. Okay, so that one I went a little too far back and I had to actually cut back on how far my backflip speed, so I had to hold down to slow myself down and then go up. So, good example there. Anyways, put Deku Mask back over Choose, we don't need him anymore. And mash Deku Mask, put it on, and you just want to get into this flower here, of course. Now, from here, it's a little sketch, but just bear with it. Practice it a couple times, make sure you get used to it. The camera will stay where it is. It will not adjust, will not move. It will stay where it is, alright? Jump out of the flower as soon as possible. And I mean that. You have a little bit of leniency, but you want to get to this platform before it rises too high. So as long as you practice that, you get good at it, You won't have too many problems. It doesn't take that much, in my opinion, but it will take, you know, a good chunk of time to get used to it. Up to the point you can do this consistently. Now that you're here on the platform, go ahead and get into the flower as soon as possible. What I will do generally is I will go up left a little bit just to make Link face that way. I mean, you don't really have to. Just we're gonna do a backwards flight because we want to have at least a little height from this platform while it's up. Not necessary, but just help. And you're going to jump out and it's gonna fly backwards onto the platform. Then spin into here. Do another spin while holding up, and mash Ocarina as you land. That's going to line you up just nicely to talk to this guy with Ocarina. This monkey's got some dialogue, and he also has a trick question. Just make sure to hit down and A after you see this. Do you see this text? Do you understand my plight? Yes. Very simple, very simple. Get through his text, and then he's going to teach you Sonata. Yay, Sonata. Alright. Taught me Sonata, that's cool. I don't know if I actually technically had the song, but whatever. Yeah, I guess I can check. There's a little bit more text here, but we're not too focused on text. You're gonna get thrown out. You're going to pause. Very important that you pause. You have to go over to the map screen. We're gonna do that thing with the hidden owl that we got earlier. We're gonna do index warp. We're going to put the cursor over Deku Palace, and we're gonna play As Long as Swing. What will that do? If you're not familiar, it will give us the option to go to Mountain Village. Owl. We're gonna do just that. Is that really what we're gonna do? Let me check the route real quick. See if I had the right idea in mind. Yes, Mountain Village. Good. From here, go ahead and I'll have to check the owl. Just spin this snowball over here, you'll get bombs. Alright? A lot of times what people will do is do a super slide here. Just beware of the ice. If you start a super slide on the ice, it's going to start out slow. It's also going to be a little awkward to actually get the super slide, but just get a super slide. Aim for just between those two mountains. Make a little bit difficult to see. Between the mountain on the left and the tree on the right. There we go. And just go to the low zone. Keep holding shield till you go through. Alright, quick swag set up here if you want. Do a quick roll, another roll, back walk, and then recoil flip, I'll detect that. I think it's just one roll actually. Oh! That's unfortunate. And we're back. Okay. Not doing too well with super slides still. One roll, I'm pretty sure. Line up your back walk. And right as you pass underneath it, do a backflip. I would not spend time to try to get it if you miss it. So if you miss it, don't worry about it. It's just literally just something that looks cool and saves like 1 second at best. A lot of times people will go over this way, pull a bomb, and super slide here. If you do that, if you get it right, that's great. Just beware that if you get too close to this ice, it will stop your super slide. So beware of that. I haven't been doing that very often recently, but instead what I will do is be a little risky. Jump here to cut out a little distance. really doesn't matter, and just backwalk. And I like to try to recoil flip off the ice. Leads to some problems, obviously, but you can't do it. Okay, and this is a great example. Fantastic. Totally worth it. Don't practice that. Now that we're here, I will point out, you have the option to get some more bombs, but otherwise we're just going to... Why did I go in that direction? Bombs right here in the snowball. Otherwise, if you have plenty of bombs, you know you're out well, just pull out Ocarina, play Song of Sword. That's going to take us to Great Bay. That is the default map position. Hooray! We are going to get the Zora mask coming up here. A quick note. Japanese, or runners on the Japanese version of the game will often do a recoil flip here, but it's not worth on English. TLDR, you just don't have a very much height there. They actually lower the platform so you can climb it from below, so you don't have to dolphin dive onto it on English, and because of that, it just makes the recoil flip not worth it. We're going to push this guy to the beach. Also, it's generally recommended not to mash B while swimming in Majora's Mask, unlike Ocarina of Time. You have to do a very specific pattern in order to actually gain speed from doing that in Majora's Mask for whatever reason, so it's just generally not worth trying. Nobody has, at least as far as I know. Tasters do not recommend RTA people to mash B. Probably should have tried something there, but that's not too late. I'll try to go over it real quick. I'm gonna see if he's actually still there. Buddy. Oh my word, stop climbing. That's unfortunate, he's up already. Alright, back to where this goes. Okay, that's cool. There it is, yeah, Ground Village. There we go. We got our map points. And we just went to Great Bay. Sure. A lot of times I will... It's not that worth it to do it, but I did want to showcase it just in case. What you can do, what you can do is equip Red Potion over Ocarina. Sounds like a good fit. And as soon as you... Cycles are going to be a little different, so I better seriously. As soon as you start walking after doing this... Oh man, I'm going to have to wait a little bit. The cycles line up a lot better if you just do a normal swim route. Let's go ahead and mash Red Potion, and you can actually overlap these two cutscenes a little bit. Sometimes they'll overlap more, sometimes less. Then you can drink Red Potion while you wait for Milk Road. And if you want to try it, you can sometimes walk up the beach a little bit before actually pouring out Red Potion. It's extremely minor in this route, and probably not worth it. But if there's ever a shuffle in the route, maybe one day that would be worth it again. Other routes, other times you'll just do it right after Odolwa, basically, but generally you get the heart container there, so you don't have to worry about health. And with that, Go ahead and re-equip Ocarina. Due to all the equips that it creates, it's just doesn't seem to be worth it. Unfortunately, I have no piano, so we will simply skip this. I have to double check something here. Okay, normally there's going to be a grave there, and you're going to be able to target it, so you got to be aware of that. But generally what you can do is super slide into the load zone here. Just got to be very careful not to target the levers. I think there might be a good setup for this, but I don't remember what it is. PHP had something, if I recall. Is it just this? Okay, I clearly don't know what it is. So I would just try to go for something. That was absolute garbage. Lay the bomb a bit so you have time to line it up. Get by that lever, and you can go for it. Very simple, rudimentary setup, but it'll get the job done. If you really want to get fancy, miss the super slide, and you want to save your bombs, you can try to recoil flip off the levers. Very dumb, but it is an option. Go ahead and pause. You're gonna have Zora mask by this point, but we are about to swim as Zora. But before you do that, we're gonna skip this cutscene here. This one right here. Now you can't skip this cutscene the first time you equip a mask as human. A transformation mask as human. But if you transform into another form and then into that form, you can completely skip it. Very weird mechanic, but it exists. You're gonna swim this way, just beware of the skullfish. They can be very annoying. Keep your magic shield up, or try not to use it if you want to save those frames. Whenever you kill an enemy, generally the game will die for a second or so. Or for a frame, I don't remember the math. Our goal is to get into Zora Hall. Now that we are in Zora Hall, we have a new map point that will allow us to soar to Zora Hall. But right now, we want to go to Woodfall. To go to Woodfall, we want to go to Woodfall map point. According to my notes, and we gotta get Ocarina as well. We do want to keep that up. We'll put it back here. Does that work out for Eclipse? Or is it just plastic, whatever. Alright. We have a map point set. We have Ocarina. Let's go to Woodfall. That did not go Woodfall. I'm looking at this right. Oh no, that's Woodfall. I need snow at that point. So I got Farm Village, but I didn't get. Awesome. Didn't even think about that. Okay. Don't mind me for a second. Okay, we're gonna put it over Snowhead. Zap that point. And then we're gonna play Song of Soaring. Very fancy. Very, very professional. Very good. It's gonna take us to Woodfall. Okay. Get onto the platform thing here. As Deku, and play Sonata. They really needed to instruct you to do that, huh? Alright, I'm in the Deku flower and fly towards the entrance. Feel free to target while you go across. Somehow that will often, especially at night, it's going to save you some lag frames. It will stop the game from lagging a little bit. Spin to win. Just don't get in the flower. We have made it to Woodfall Temple without hook shots. For those who know, you know. We're going to be going this way. Back walk. And it looks a little funny, but you can actually get right up here. And if your angle's a little off, sometimes what you can do is, instead of having to retarget, and to do that you have to kill these guys. Come on. If your angle's a little off, it's good. What you can do is hold right at their back. But apparently I can't get a... There we go. Is that right? Alright. Sometimes holding right will help. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe just get in the habit of holding right. Not always. Sometimes it's just hold back and maybe just try to hold down at first, and then if that doesn't work, try it back with holding right. That's what I would recommend. That's what I generally do. Go to the door here. We're going to do a bit of a hover. Very simple hover. Slash to the corner. That'll get you as close as possible here. What I generally like to do when C-upping to line something up is C-up first, and then that is going to correct Link's, not correct, but it's going to make Link's head position consistent, and that matters for C-up because if you look closely, Link looks to the side. When you C-up, the camera will follow Link's head, his eyes specifically. But if you do a quick shield, then it'll be consistent. Alright, cool. Just aim for that corner there. Very simple. Turn around. Equip bombs and shields. If I recall, you can make it in... Is it 4 good hovers or 5? Okay, 4 good hovers. Just make sure that they're all decent. Make sure you get all the length that you can out of them. Make them distance based. If you happen to end one early, just, you know, end another one later on, if that makes sense. But if you drop too low, then you're risking it, in my opinion. And if you want to be safe, just do an extra hover. That's fine, don't worry about it. We have a couple of extra shoes that you can burn through in this round. I'm going to go to the door. That will cancel your ISG, so be aware. Have fun jumping across, just don't be risky. Just make sure you make it if you really want to go for the jump. And now we have Dinolphos ahead of us before getting Bow. There are a couple of very small tips for Dinolphos, but generally you just want to make sure that you're actually landing your hits. That's the hard part. So I'm gonna just do the fight real quick, show it, and then I'm gonna explain it after. Probably should have had sword out, but whatever. Ah, missed. Okay, got lucky there. So, as you saw, I did not target the Dinolphos. Looked weird, but generally speaking, it works out much better. For whatever reason, he doesn't try to avoid you as much. So, keeping that in mind, what you want to generally do, first of all, have sword out. And then one small thing I've heard that helps is holding up as you enter the door. Not as you enter the door, as you start the fight. And then hold up right. And then maybe get a roll in for that, but otherwise just stay focused, and then if he hits you, that's fine. Sometimes he won't run away or anything, and you can just go for that kill. So again, okay, don't sword out, whatever. If you want to get a roll in, you're gonna have to do it before you jump slash if you have sword out. And always good to remember that the Kokiri sword is very short. Open the chest. Bow. Net profit. If you're having difficulty with the jump slashes, just feel free to use normal slashes, whatever it takes to kill the guy. Go to back walk out. I'm going to be going back this way. Alright, so here's a major step in the run. Woodfall Temple BK skip. We're going to be introducing a mega flip, if I recall, but technically speaking it is optional if you are very conservative with your explosives and you use your extras to your advantage, including this one that I forgot to point out earlier. If you want to get this bomb drop, just make sure to get it as you come out of that room. Then what you would do is get this bomb drop, get Zora out, or Deku out, then you're gonna have to spin back. And then you would do your hovers up. However, arguably, I'm wondering now if it's faster to do it after. And do the hover, press the switch that's going to spawn these ladders at the cost of the cutscene. Then you can go down, grab the bombs, and come back up. And then you can repeat this as well. If you go through this door, back through it, that's going to reload the bomb pot. And in this specific case, that will also reload the bomb itself. So things to keep in mind, whatever you want to do. With these extra explosives, you will not have to do a mega flip. Just be wary of your explosives count. Get ISG, go against this wall. You'll generally have choose already. We're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5 or 6? 6, okay. 6 chew hovers. That's going to get you up. 7 hovers, including the bomb. Alright, put on Zora mask. This is the fun part. We're going to do a ledge clip. A lot of people will slash. They'll target and slash. Then they're going to hold left during the slash. Then Zora's going to do a sort of up left walk while holding left. Specifically, it's a little weird, but it works. And as he walks along, holding full left, he's going to drop here soon. You want this frame here, this very first frame. The way I can tell this frame when I'm buffering it is Link, his nose is kind of looking straight on, and the back of his head is kind of leaning back a little bit. It's just barely noticeable. Versus the next frame, his nose is looking a little down, and his head is looking like it's looking straight forward, essentially. That is too late. You will have to restart the trick. And however you feel comfortable doing this to get to this specific frame while he's in position, there generally are a couple of other options, like just walking slowly to the left until you get to it. But as long as you get this in the corner, what you're going to do is pause first. You need to pause if I... No, you don't have to pause. No, I'm being funny. If you want to pause it, I would recommend it, buffering it. If you want to do it unbuffered, that's your choice. Feel free to learn it. But in this case, what you will do is you're going to, in the unpause leg, press and hold target, and press and hold A. Now, the reason we do A is because you want to drop it as soon as possible. For 1. 2, because of Link's breathing cycles, if you're too late on the drop, you will actually pop back into bounds, and you're going to have to redo the trick. Very sad when that happens. So just hold A. It avoids the issue entirely. Alright, go ahead and take Zora mask off. I would do a shield and see up. I'm going to aim right about here. Look at where the tip of the clock is. We're going to aim the tip of the clock, basically circumscribe it, I think is the term. Inscribe it, whatever, in the little circle on the texture of the wall back there. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Go ahead and shield turn to the right. Just beware of the dragonflies. Sometimes they can be an issue. The reason we do this setup here and look that way and then turn right instead of aiming somewhere, whatever Link is aiming at now, is because the dragonflies can be a pain, and if you target them, you'll probably be sad. Okay, so now we're in position. We're going to get ISG. I would recommend putting the sword a little to the, basically pulling down. That way you can see if you actually got ISG or not. And let's just say you missed ISG. You can just drop it real quick there, and then realign yourself to the end. I'm going to be doing distance hovers. I have found that you can cut out hovers by doing kind of extra distance hovers, so you drop a little bit, but we're not going to worry about that too much. We're going to be doing that hover, 8 shoe hovers, now from here you can do a mega flip, just a single mega flip, and make it to the load zone, or the 10 back. Might be more, might be 12. I'm gonna give myself a minute to choose now. Just do 9, 10, 11. I'm used to doing mega flips, so I have to actually map this out. 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. More. Okay, so 13. Really? $14 hovers back. Total. Right? Well, no, 15 total. 15 hovers back, including the bomb. So you want to load up on a lot of bombs, and a lot of those are probably going to be bombs just to make sure you have some kind of chew reservoir for later on to run around in case you need them for whatever reason. That's what I would recommend. Probably at least 2 to 3 chews, I want to say, is a number that comes to mind. I don't remember the exact tricks, but you do you, route your bombs. That brings us to Odolwa. Odolwa is rather simple. First off, you want to bow out. Go ahead and equip it if you want, or you can do a roll equip is what it's called. Come on. So you just pull it out, shield a frame later, roll. I think that's basically what it is, or is it just... And you can also just mash A. We're going to mash arrows at him until he jumps towards us. Okay, jump toward us, walk forward a little bit, and let's spin to win again. I love this hitbox. So obviously this fight is going rather swell. Eventually it will end, and generally speaking, you will have much better timing. I just have to retrain myself on the timing real quick. He will generally always jump behind you. Occasionally he'll jump in other directions, but it's generally going to be behind you. Alright, well that sucks. If you want to learn his attacks, feel free to watch him. I care not to go into that detail. If I recall, oh, I remember now. You want to wait a lot between those attacks and hope that you don't just get kiboshed for whatever reason. So that's about the timing there. The hard part is getting spin attacks. So just be intentional about spinning the control stick in a full rotational circle. Okay, that was pretty fun. And you can feel free to start walking a little bit and then do the spin after. Just make sure that when you get the B button, you do a full rotation by that point. So just copy this little pattern here. Hope he doesn't do something dumb like that. It is a little tight, so you do want to practice it. Generally speaking, again, he will go behind you if you mess up the timing. So if you get it between the first two bouts, so to speak, then you're going to be generally good. Just make sure to be intentional about spacing your spins, unlike that. If you just want to wait till he takes like 2 steps, then that'd be good timing. Good way to visual cue it up. Awesome. Okay. So this is going to be a boss you want to practice for the timing. Get the timing down first. Make sure to be intentional about spacing your spin attacks down. And that's going to be your key to a successful Odolwa fight. Feel free to grab the heart container. I would recommend it for Majora later on. And we're not going to do anything fancy here. This is our first remains, and we need to watch the cutscenes that are associated with it in order to get the Octo order. We need that to beat the game to get the moon. Cannot skip this. So whenever you do an NMG run, under the conditions we have currently, that we know, you always have to watch the first Giants cutscene. We're going to pretend that I watched it, and move on. Maybe not. I think I actually have to watch this. I don't think you can go 2, 3 followers. Let me see. Okay. So be it. I guess I better try. Aha, maybe? We'll see. Okay, now that Tatl's done, we can just roll right out. Gonna have to watch this cutscene. Okay, here we go. Now we can roll. We're gonna be going this way. Feel free to put Zora mask on and roll here. Do a jump slash. And skip trying to jump on the middle platform, other things, and then do a jump slash cancel, just like you've seen me. Go ahead and go this way. We don't do much fancy here. We just do backlock, whatever. Our goal is to get to this grotto right over here. Okay. A lot of times what I'll do is kill one of each. Open this up. And I have to review the notes. We're gonna have Zora, Ocarina Bow. I'm going to put Zora mask over here because I like my special Ocarina button on Z. I'm going to equip Ocarina over the bow. And I'm going to have the potion now. Drank the potion earlier, so it's just an empty bottle now. Drink the potion otherwise. If you didn't drink the red potion yet, drink it now. Then get red rupees, sick and nuts. So, the reason that we're allowed to do that now is because we already have Ocarina over bow. Now, very important, never equip bow, never equip over the bow, over the Ocarina. Both of those rules are important. If I equip over the bow, or if I equip the bow, it will remove the Ocarina. If I equip over Ocarina, of course, it will remove Ocarina. If I have fire arrows and I want to fight goats, and I equip fire arrows without equip swapping it over Ocarina, it will remove the Ocarina. Very important. Do not equip magic arrows, bow, or over the Ocarina, or you will lose your Ocarina until you give it back or reset, or whatever you want to do, I guess. Go back through for a cycle. So just be very careful on what you do here. I need to get rid of cheats. These are getting in the way a bit. We would normally have one of each by now. Okay. One of each. What I would do... Ah, nice. Forgot to do this thing first. Okay, I have Ocarina equipped. I have those two equipped. I'm going to equip. I'm going to take Zora mask off. I'm going to equip nuts and the bottle. So we still have Ocarina equipped over bow. Except now I forgot we're going to equip the empty bottle over Ocarina with equip slot. And just so you saw, you are able to equip Ocarina over any slot. It's just the item value. So no worries there if you mess that up. It's not frame perfect here. Or it's not a one-try trick. You're good. Okay. I'm not good apparently. Wow. There we go. And the third equip is nuts. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that nut. We're going to catch a bug real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was wrong. We're gonna catch a fish, not a nut. Fish are friendly with for some things. Not if to catch it. But fish it is. And we're gonna dupe it over the map. Just like so. ESS. That'll do. If you want, there's also the option to make it easier. Do a little ESS shuffle on the target, and do it like normal. If I can do it. Oh, it's because it's bottle. There we go. Anyways, next up, we will be going to Great Bay. So, just play a song of soaring. And here we go. We will be putting on Zora mask. Take bombs out. And go to Zora. I would hold A during the mask transition, and that will allow you to just dolphin dive. You're able to do is S there, if you know what that is. It's Zora ESS. There's a little pen key. Feel free to go for it. I forgot to hold ESS. Otherwise, you can just swim around the rocks. Really up here. Going to Pirate's Fortress to get quick shots. And a Zora egg. Now, it's hard to tell for sure, but it might be night at this time, so we're just going to do that. It really doesn't matter much though. Go up here, roll quickly to the left side. Be very intentional about your rolls. The goal is to beat the pirates, basically. So I roll to the left again, just hug the wall. Wait a little bit before you start dolphin diving. Dolphin diving is a bit faster than swimming to the water. Just want to make sure you don't get caught in any way, shape, or form. Now, nighttime, the pirate's vision is cut down a little bit, but during the daytime, it is normal. Now, what happens if you get caught? You're not going to have the cutscene. It's going to be a little different. Not very, but it's going to be a little tighter, basically, when you go back to it. So when you go up this way again, you want to make sure that you are very fast, hug this wall, you beat that pirate before it reaches you. Wow, I did not beat it. I was kind of a little now aimed with my angle, so I'm not too surprised. So, if you want to be safe about it, just wait until that pirate goes around, and you can go to its backside, go this way. Just a method to be a little safer. Bit of the skullfish. If you're fast enough, you can just go off to the right. Dive here, very safe. for the pirates even better. To show it is possible to make this. It is possible to make this right. Yes, it is possible. Wow, that is much better than I gave it credit for, I guess. Again, just go off to the right side. I don't have to worry about the pirates at this point. And off and dive up. Makes it really nice when you have a good angle that you're not going to bonk. You can just ride along the wall a little bit if you have to, if that helps. Similar to Gyro Blade. Okay. Go do a couple hovers around here. Just line up. It's not that precise. Just beware. That reminds me. In addition to preserving Ocarina, we also want to try our best to preserve Tatl text. Now, right now my angle is fine, I've zero lined it up, etc, whatever. But, what if you get in this predicament where you can't see up? Just don't worry about it too much, just line it up best you can. Fidget Link, little by little, till he is in the right position. And remember, you have eyes sheep, so you can walk into this corner. Use that to your advantage. You can even line it up like this if you want. Just don't hit C up at this point, because you will get rid of Tatl text. And just beware, the timing is very close. It's happened to me in runs before. At this point, do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 distance hovers or so. You can do some fast movement like this, or whatever you want to do. There's another method, it's a couple mega flips and a hover, or a couple hovers and a mega flip, but I'm not going over that. Alright, so, what did we learn earlier? Anytime that we want to use the bow, we have to whip swap it. So, go ahead and do that. Take care of this guard here. Trolls probably would have been faster. Climb up the ladder. Do the same with this pirate here. Make sure to get her before she goes around the hookshot tower. It's a little easier. And if you get stuck here, just back walk over, or back flip over the pirate. Make sure to keep Tatl text up. Never spend so long in an area, which is 2.5 minutes, that she goes away. It's fine if she pops up and you don't talk to her, just don't let her go away. If she goes away, you're gonna have to die to get Tatl text back. You'll have to do that at some point. Okay, we're going to hit the beehive, but if you walk over here, there's a bit of a cutscene, it's a long one, we don't want to watch it. So, just stand back here somewhere, very lenient. Look closely for the beehive, it'll be easier to see it on your screen than it is on mine in the video. And just hit it with an arrow from a distance. Skips the cutscene, gets some pirates out of here. And we can just go through here. Just walk down, through the door, optimal roll, totally. And here we are. Now, if you're thinking about JP and how JP starts here and always goes into this room at night and then just goes around the pirates, that is not possible in English because the pirates are actually moved to be a little closer to the door. So you actually cannot do that strat. So we're forced to go up there and then go back down and around through this door. Not English, generally speaking. If you want to get fancy, you can try to do a barrel clip, get in position, then just slash forward, just forward. Open chest, get hook shot, profit. And then I would split here. Next, back whip up onto the chest. slash left. So I tend to put a lot of my masks on that button there. Then C. So don't do what I just did. Make sure to put C over something else. Anything else. Put Zora mask on. Do a roll jump here. And you'll be able to make it onto the fish tank. It's a little lenient, but you do have to be intentional about it. It's not something you necessarily do by accident, shall we say. If you're having a lot of difficulty with it, wow, are you kidding me? Just hookshot the beam like normal, then fall into fall in here, and then follow the egg. If you want to get really fancy, what you can do is back hook, and then press B as you fall into the water. Cuts down on the time it takes to sink. Then what bottle do we put in? I think we put it in this bottle. Yeah, we put it in this bottle because when we do our quick swaps, we have to do this quick swaps 6 times. So it's easier to do this than just to go down here. Should have put it on your non-Zora, non-Ocarina button. And if you want to get real fancy, what you can do is an ESSOI out of here. Do great video. Now, be very careful if you're going to do this strat to not show the egg. Do not show the egg, or else you're going to crash the game later on, like I did earlier. So I'm going to have to go to save state If you have enough difficulty with it, just get out of the tank and play the Ocarina like normal. Oh, I have that set up. Oh, did I not? No. There we go. Now this one doesn't count because it's the first time, for whatever reason, it's not the same thing that crashes the game. Again, if you think you're going to pull the egg out, or you're prone to that, just climb out of the egg, or climb out of the fish tank, and then just play Ocarina. If you pull out the egg, there are ways to avoid the crash. You can show the fisherman the Deku mask, and he asks for a pictograph picture of the Gerudo Pirates, or I would recommend, if you want to be a little faster, I think, when you soar to Great Bay, go around to the front, or when you soar to Zora Cape, go around to the front of Zora Hall, get eaten by the like, kill the like, recollect shield, and that will prevent the crash from happening. Anyways, I'm going to climb up this ladder here. The ladder is a little slippery, so just be careful, and then if you want, what you can do is roll into the door. Doesn't say much. Another small time save here, if you really want to get fancy, is do something like that. That was not right. This is stuff I would not recommend doing, but I just do want to show it off, I guess. Okay, so it's a little more advanced than it looks. You want to hold upright, you till you land, then hold up left and jump, roll and jump, and then move the control stick from up, left, up, right. Target while you climb, or side up, slide. Not really worth, doesn't save much of any time, maybe a second at best, so I would just recommend waiting until you get past this fish tank, because you don't want to check it. If you close to it, you'll check it. Until check turns to attack, and then just climb to the left side, and do 2 side hops left. Don't drop the Zora egg yet. You want to equip it, swap it 6 times, and then drop the real Zora egg. Wow. I am clearly rusty. There we go. That's 1. I would recommend trying to put the cursor back onto Zora egg after every time. You're gonna have to do that anyways, so you might as well just get in the habit of doing that. Even on successes. Sync 5. Six. Okay, so one quick note about this that ties into the crash is you want to intentionally wait a couple of frames before pausing, equipping the next egg, and then dropping it. If you are too fast, then what will happen is you will pull the egg out, the game doesn't realize that you're actually in a position to drop the egg. So you need to wait a little bit, otherwise you're not going to be happy, basically. See if I can show that real quick. Okay, I don't know if it works since I already dropped them all, but trust me, you don't want that to happen to you. Just wait a couple seconds. Anyways, create a low roll to the ledge. Release control stick so he doesn't jump. So he ledge drops, then drop from the ledge by holding the A button. I hold it front, roll to ledge drop. Starts his cutscene. And from here, what we're going to want to do, what do we do? Okay, we go to Milk Road. Alright, Milk Road is clock time. Right. Double check. So we want to do NWV and skip, New Wave, Bossa Nova skip. To do that, we want to basically mash Ocarina and pause after we pull Ocarina out. So click this. Alright, so I got the pause. If you just get Ocarina, then you get to just, you know, play the Song of Sword. Now, I did recommend putting Ocarina on C earlier. I am able to mash Z rather quickly by using my index and middle finger to mash the button. Then I mash pause in addition to it. But it's not a very common skill. I don't know if anybody does it besides me. So if you want to put Ocarina on a better mashing button like X, Y, you're free to do that. Just keep this in mind that you're going to have to mash to get this cutscene skip. Otherwise, it's going to take about 40 seconds to watch that cutscene, I want to say. Rough estimate. Anyways, in the unpause lag, pull out Ocarina. That's not soaring. We're going to go to Milk Road, hopefully. Yes. Hop down, let's see Milk Road. Okay, at this point, hopefully it is daytime. Doesn't matter which day, as long as it's day 1 or 2 if I recall. Small optimization here. So our goal is to talk to the one with the blue shirt next to the gate, not the one with the orange shirt. If you roll over here and you're early, then you're going to target the blue guy. But if you're a little better with the timing, I think it's how it works. You can actually target the blue guy. Maybe it's just a matter of spacing where you're going. I would mess around with this, but even if you don't get it, just press the target button again and be able to talk to him as long as he's in range. So don't worry about it too much. Buy your milk and get on with the run. And from here, we will be going to get bombs. We want Ocarina. And stick. Okay, so this way. Oops. Milk Road map point. That's from Mini Ranch. To Snowhead next. We're going to be doing remote hook slash cover skip. A rather easy method, but there is a frame perfect trick. You cannot pause buffer it, but you have as many tries as you want. That works out. Starting out, just go over to the left here, break that snowball, get a bomb shot if you need it, or don't if you don't want to, I guess, whatever. What I recommend to do this trick, these equips are not right. Now I'm gonna have to fix these equips. Yeah, there's no reason to get stick bombs out yet. You want hook shots and milk bottle. Now. We'll get to the point soon. I almost forgot. You do not want that milk bottle. You want to equip swap it. I keep forgetting to do that. Regardless. That way, you recycle your milk. Very good. What I would do is start cooking. I'm going to aim for that post in between the wings. And when the wind starts, release hook and target. So like that. Looks a little weird, but it is what it is. Okay, when you get it, you want to target the post. I like to get to the left side of it. Then pull hook, charge it, and then you want to drink milk while it's charged. That's how you're going to store the milk. And you want to look at the frames. You want to pause. Frame perfect pause. You can't pause buffer it, obviously. You want to pause on this frame. This frame. After doing that, you want to equip an empty bottle for your half milk. Then you have a equip swap. Now, it's a little awkward, but there is a visual cue for it. That visual cue is I'm looking. It'd be a little hard to see, but and it's going to look weird. But the visual cue is right around here. There's a piece of his, I don't know, kilt, whatever, tunic, and you're looking at kind of the backside right under here. It's going to be a lot easier to look on your screen, but wait until the backside kind of coalesces, I guess, if that makes sense. In more detail, no, we did the other way, but it's still the same premise. It's hard to see with this camera. Alright, so you're watching for the backside, you can't see it right now. To the front. Okay, it's starting to be able to see it a little bit. It's going, it's there. So wait until you get used to what frame it is, and then, like, to me, I can get used to it because it's something that I can see ahead of time, and I can react to it. A lot of other visual cues on Link are very difficult to even see, and they don't happen until, like, the frame up, basically. So you can actually look at this, anticipate it, expect it, and actually react to it. That's what I like about that visual cue. But anyways, once you get it, quick bottle over. And you can try it as many times as you need to, technically speaking, at the cost of if you need to die later on after you get through the load zone. So bring back Tatl text, it takes you longer than 2.5 minutes. If it does, it is what it is. Just gotta suck it up, buttercup. You can die to the Wolfus after doing what's it called? That's action swap. You can die to the bows if you want, but whatever you want to do, just make sure it's a quick death. Okay, you got it. Go over this way. Do not roll. Do not do much of anything. Just target and walk. Backflip up here. Your side hops. Up the mountain. Till about right this spot. We'll just go to this spot just in case. What you want to do is press hook. Then you have 4 frames to pause. Equip swap. Or equip something over hook, like the Deku sticks or whatever. Oh, Zora mask, that's what it is. And put Zora mask on. I'm just gonna slash this way. Hopefully if my explanation and save saving didn't take too long, we'll make it into the loading zone. Should be some leniency here. Some notes. Never target while in the air with this trick. So you'll probably be sad, you'll be stuck in one direction. And like so. I should have turned the camera first, but I'm going to be a little blind. Okay. And just slash the wind. Kind of aiming for the right side of the top part of the ramp, if that makes sense. The goal is to try to pop up as close to the load zone as possible, cutting out as much distance as possible. You are invincible, so don't worry about snowballs, etc. Follow the ramp up. You need to gain a little more height. There we go. Go into the load zone. Very good. I think I made it. So, if you made it, good. If not, you're gonna have to die in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I'm gonna show this real quick, and I'll explain it after. I did the wrong thing. Sorry, used to other equips, kind of. Oh yeah, I can just auto slash that. Really. Alright. So that's action swap. So temple action swap. Frame perfect. Is it frame perfect? I think some parts of it are. If you're familiar with it, great. If not, TLDR slash this icicle. Get your equips, hookshot, and Deku stick. I like hookshot on Y, stick on X. That's how I prefer it. That's how I've learned it. That's how I've done it forever. That's where I have my muscle memory in place. Target, quick draw hookshot. If you don't know what quick drawing is, just press the button of the item you're trying to equip to quick draw and then press shield on the frame after. Once you have it drawn, you're going to side hop. Then about midway into the side hop, you're going to press hook. And then you need to hit Deku stick on like the frame after you land or something like that. Yeah, Deku stick out. You press Deku stick too early. If you don't hear the Deku stick equipping item noise at all, then you were too late. But you're just right. Then you're gonna hear the Deku stick equip noise, but you're not gonna have Deku stick out. You're gonna have hookshot out still. Go ahead and target after. Don't let the bows. Don't target the bows at all. You want to keep this angle. If not, there are some backups I'll go after in a moment. Now, when you backlock, keep holding down until you are fully clipped in. Like you come to a full stop. If you try to hold left, release target, hold left early, then there's a very good chance you'll pop through and then you have the void, and it's very annoying and sad. Go ahead and roll to the left. Pull stick once, then pull stick again, target, and release the stick, and you will shoot a fire arrow. Very fancy. And you can do it like this, you can get closer to the ice, you can do whatever you want to do. Feel free to grab some arrows, supplies, whatever you see. Chance of bombs over here, chance of arrows over here. You just have to absolutely make sure that you have arrows when you perform this trick, and you should from getting bow early. Otherwise you'll crash the game. Okay, so what happens if you target a bow? What? It's too far away. Oh no, I targeted a bow. Now how am I going to fix this up? Go over here. I don't remember if you're allowed to shield. You are allowed to shield. Okay. I would go over to this icicle here. And if you can, go ahead and try to get a shield turn. If not, just keep going over it until you get it. And get back over here. Some other walls might work. You might be able to do it over here, but you gotta be wary of the bows and try to lead them into position such that you won't target them when you actually do the angle change. Nope, don't miss like I did. But it's fine if you did, just hit Deku stick first and then hit target after. I mean, order of events is very important here. Feel free to go for bombs here. Runner supplies, there's another chance for bombs over here if I recall. something happens, you mess up, it's fine. Go over this way. Slash the ledge. Hook shot the crate. And then you have the option of doing a weird shot going this way, but that's the only weird shot that would be in the run, and I don't want to be necessarily in the route, so to speak, to cut down on learning. So what you can do is just go over here. At the cost of, I guess, this cutscene, several seconds, whatever, and then you can converge the routes. Hook shot the torch. And then you can do what we call scarecrow skip. Because we're skipping a scarecrow, they nab at me. That is right about there. That's fine, I'll just die later on when I actually do. So, what I look for on the ground here is this little cane looking thing here. Little texture on the ground. Right. Then I stand right at the tail end of it. Like so. Like so. Pull hook. You're gonna see these, oops, 2 dots right at the top where this ledge is. Kind of cuts those 2 dots in half. You want to aim right in the center of these 2 dots. The red dot right there. And then you're going to want to be just barely up, have the red dot just above the ledge. Like so. And like so. Then you're going to try a tap hook shot. You're going to try a hold hook shot. They are both different. As you can see, one didn't work, the other did work. Link's animation when he's holding the hook shot up and down also affects it, but wouldn't worry about that too much. Just try to focus on hooking the torch. This will require a lot of practice. Not only is it very precise, it is slightly variable if you use a setup list setup, like I did. Instead, if you want to use a setup, like a wise person would, I have a couple in mind. There's one like this that I made. Get to the corner, side hop, full side hop. At the end of the back foot of the side hop, press A to open the door. It's frame perfect, if I recall. Then I think it's another side hop here. 2 side hops. Forward roll. Full forward roll. And then you can get in a good position to do what you gotta do. I need to get up a little. Just a little bit. Very finicky. This will test your control of your aiming, not just your ability to aim. It's often said that you don't want to be jagged with your aiming in this game. It's much wiser to have a lot more control and be a lot slower, because that's going to lead to faster results for precise aims like this. What else is there? There's another setup that uses a torch. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Alright, so basically, go to the door, get onto this side of the torch, and I think, yeah, the ice has to be, no, it doesn't matter that, I'm thinking about something else. Let's get over here, we're on English, so it doesn't matter. Crouch jab to the right, full right, that's going to do that. You're going to get like a double recoil and a full back flip. Then aim like before. And if you practice enough, maybe you can do that too. There are some other setups, like there's an Aquaman setup or something it's called, that a lot of top tier runners sometimes will do. That like gives you a proper angle on top of that. I never learned that personally, and it requires a frame perfect stop, so I'm not going to necessarily recommend it, I guess. Alright, now we have another hook jump, another hook trick ahead of us. This is going to be a hook jump. What we're going to do is get into this corner. We're going to target, retarget if you want to get the crosshair up to even. We're going to put milk, not the real milk. Real milk we'll have to use later. Equip soft milk. And we're just going to Zora hook. I might have to refresh my frame here. Target for a little second, go to the right, then turn left. If you try to turn left immediately, you're going to target the wall. You're not going to have the right angle. Get up to the torch like so. Go until, I think it's, I'll try this frame for a little bit. Oh, I forgot to pause. Okay, I'll do this again. Keep in mind that during the duration of this, you are on a timer. If you want, you can reset the timer after going to the door. Since like the beginning of the dungeon, you are on a timer, and you can reset that timer by voiding in the lava as Deku or Zora. So a couple little tricks like that to keep in mind. Give you a little extra time should you need it. You shouldn't. No, you should be fine. The timer will reset when you get to Goat's layer, but by that point you're going to be using it anyways, unfortunately. Alright, so where was I? So just like before, you're going to have to do a frame perfect pause. Similar to before. Oops. Just watch the bottom links, the back side of his tunic. Till this frame here, I think? Yeah. Sped up. You're gonna have to, every time you fail it, same with the other one, you're gonna have to just retry this setup. And it's pretty easy to see when you're late. It's when the camera swings back. It's just too late. Too early and you won't get a pause at all. But just practice this to get the timing down soon enough, I'm sure. It's a very visual thing. Just takes practice. Go your bottle up. Sidestep a little bit, then turn left. Feel free to use ESS. Just don't. Can you shield? Yeah, don't shield her. That'd be bad. There we go. Alright, so does that work? Pretty cool. Yeah, that works. Looks a little something like that. So what you're doing is targeting, link hook, pausing on this frame, the first frame where his hand snaps down, holding down while still holding target and hook. You're going to hear a clang if you're pause buffering this. You're going to want the frame after, and if you look closely, the B button is kind of this weird shape that's like really large. If the camera's a little more zoomed out, and it might have a different, slightly altered setup for it, then this thing looks like a C, but just look for this giant texture black thing that looks like that. It'll do pretty well. You're going to release target, but you're going to continue holding down, or you're going to release hook, I'm sorry, but you're going to continue holding target and down. You're going to pause a couple frames, you're going to wait until like 38Y velocity. Oh, I forgot to turn these off. There, that reset. Good job, mate. You're gonna pull a chew. You do not want to equip chew over hookshot. While you can do it, still I do not recommend it because you have to wait until Link fully puts his hook right away before you can actually even pull a chew. So I recommend you just put it over the empty bottle. At this point, if you can recognize this specific texture looking thing, giant left, I don't know, awkward zigzaggy C, I guess if you want to think about it that way, then you can go ahead and recoil flip on this ring. And then you'll end up here. Go over this away a little bit. If you want to really wing it, and then just do that. So a little more. Slow it down. Oh, I released target. I would definitely just turn around and get lined up. If you want to use a chew for this, you can use a bomb, really doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're not so close that the chew runs along an icicle or the wall. I guess that's not a big concern. Then just hold left during the recoil flip and you'll just jump right in. This is probably going to turn into a two-parter. I'm going to do goat and I'm going to head to bed, I think. Alright, so goat, very simple. You want to have hookshot equipped, if I recall. Oops, exactly. Should be able to equip bow right now. Just make sure to equip slot bow. Do not equip bow, because if you equip bow, you lose Ocarina. You don't want that. That Deku stick. This is fine. I'm gonna wait a bit. Feel free to do the classic silent rolls in the meantime. See how many you can do. But try not to be too late when it comes up. You want to be shield crouching, have bow in hand, then I have to remember what I have to do. You're going to hit Deku stick and then C up when Tatl text comes. This is the entire reason of getting rid of Ocarina. Well, not the entire reason. It's a good reason to get something you pair with getting rid of Ocarina, shall we say. With the Zora eggs. We're swapping over. Oh, I didn't die again. I forgot. I had to die. Should only take about 30 seconds. Okay, now that I died again, I should have Tatl text coming up soon. By the way, if you're on KZ and you're having weirdness with Tatl, just make sure to check the file and check that you have Tatl checked and intro watched if you want. Okay, so we're crouching, we have bow in hand, we're going to hit stick, and then C up right after. And I think you have like 4 frames to do that. It's really not lenient, but if you fail it, you do fail to run, so don't fail it. Just practice it, get comfortable with it, you'll get it. Just like before, pull stick out, hit it again, target or target after, release stick. Then we have a good old-fashioned goat fight ahead of us. We're going to be using bow and arrow. So, first of all, you want to go over in this direction. Stand right in this texture right here. Turn left. 2, 3, What? Wow. I forgot this is a little tighter on the bush. I really have to pay attention. As long as you get 15 shots, you're good. But you want to do it with good time. Wow. I took my time on setting up the safe slope. That's not good. I forgot, it's 159 that you do. Okay. Let's do that, Captain. Okay, grab the heart container, and we're going to do the special thing that makes us route special, which is remains escape. But a little more detail first. So again, you want to roll up to this spot. Let's familiarize yourself with it. It's a little gray spot if you can't really see it well. Get one arrow shot at him. Do 2 side hops right, 2 side hops left. When you do these side hops, make sure to do the exact same side hops. Now, what we're doing is basically keeping him in place by sort of stun locking him, you could say. Not with damage, but with position movement. Or position signals. Position. When we start him doing lightning attacks by getting in his field of vision, that resets his timer, how long he can actually stay in place before he would otherwise run away, basically, or run towards you. Now, we time it such that when he runs towards us, we land the final hit, and when we do that, that's why we're able to get the blue portal to spawn right next to us, our container in addition to that. Otherwise, he's going to go so far away, we're going to have to track down the remains, we're going to have to track down the heart container if you want that, and it's just going to be a slow time. So, the pattern that is recommended for beginners, the cycles, is a 3-cycle goat fight, where you shoot 1 arrow, do side hops, you shoot 5 arrows, do side hops, and then you shoot 9 arrows. That gives you wiggle room, that gives you leniency, even when it comes to the 9-arrow shot. Once you get better at this, if you really want, you can cut down to 2 cycles. The next recommended one would be 10 arrows and 5 arrows, 10-5. I think that's the next recommended one. And if you want to get really crazy like Ragan, you can do 4-11, or insanely, you could do 3-12. Neither of those are recommended in any way, shape, or form, if I recall. But just a small aside. Again, collect the heart piece, get the remains. Some small thing you can do if you do lose track of them, whatever happens, you just get up here. This is a bit of a safe spot, and you can just land arrows on him as he runs by. Generally, he will not attack you when he's up here. He will charge at you, but he will not generally be able to reach you. But try to avoid having to do that, of course. Time for remains escape. I have a whole video on this, so I'm just going to do one quick version of it, I guess. You want hook out, you want it in hand, and you want Ocarina equipped. You're going to walk into the blue portal. Which one's safer? Song of Double Time is safer. So you can only do so many Song of Double Times based off how many day-night cycles you have left. But you only have to do 3 of these. You may still have to do 1 inverted Song of Time, and you can watch the video for more details, I guess. I'm about that to bed. Make this a 2-parter. But with the Song of Double Time, all you do is play Song of Double Time after you walk into the blue warp while playing Ocarina. You hit yes. You're going to wait a bit until you see the things, and when you see the clocks, you just mash out of the text. At this point, you are free to die. Feel free to take damage from the ice, although it gets a little wonky, especially if you have a bad fight, or if you get what we call stalagmited, I don't remember. If that happens, unfortunately, you're just going to have to do the slow fight. It always helps to have a lot of bombs in case you have a lot of HP. Although, if you want to get risky, skip the heart containers and try to route in damage. Okay, the reason it worked me here instead of to the dungeon entrance is because I used the warp cheat, if I recall. Normally you would go back to the dungeon entrance, and then you would leave, go back to the load zone, and then you would warp. You would index warp to Zora Hall, because you're going to be doing TCS and PCS next with Woodfall Temple. Or you could skip those tricks, honestly. They're cutscene skips. You don't have to do those. They're not too bad to learn, but they can be a little janky. And then, yeah, TCS is the dreaded pause. Well, you can always just mash with it if you want, if you're beginning and you don't want to put that much time and effort into it. But anyways, I guess this is part 1. I can try to do the inverted Song of Time real quick if I remember how to do it though. Remember, have hook in hand, walk in, make sure that your feet are inside of the blue circle. The easy way to do it, if I recall, Zunar pointed out that seat up is pivotal. It will advance the text, but not the cutscene states. So, just like that. Press the B button to skip the text along to start it running, and then press C up near the end of it to cancel the text, but not the cutscene. But you want to make sure that you wait a bit before you actually hit C up, and then probably until you see the clocks again, and then you can die again. Oh nice, you can actually just do that, that's cool. So normally that would take you here, not the boss. This doesn't normally happen in the run. I don't think you actually get the run, so I don't think you get close enough to the boss portal for this to happen. You'll have a real reason to happen this time. Or just leave. And with that, you would have Guts Remains. Alright, I'm back in the back. And the part 1. Hopefully this was not too sloppy. I'm sure it was, but whatever. It is what it is. Y'all have a good night. This was streamed for reference for those who are watching on the YouTube. And with that, GLHF winners.